Hello everyone. In this video, we will explain Redux with the help of a project. So we will create this project using React.js and we will manage the state using Redux. So we will use Redux Toolkit to manage the state for this project. This is the best project for handling the state and learning about Redux Toolkit. Okay, if you would like to learn the Redux completely, so this project will help with you. Okay, task management app, task management project. From one side, it will help you to just boost your React skills, and from other side you will learn completely the Redux toolkit in this video. Okay, the Redux which is Redux toolkit, which is based on Redux. Nowadays we are using Redux toolkit. So let's check the demo of this project that we will build in this video. For example, this is a task management app. First of all, we will just fetch the data from an API. So for fetching a data from an API, so here we will use create async thank for fetching the data. Okay, using create async thank, which is a function of Redux toolkit. So first of all, we will just fetch data from this JSON placeholder type code dot. We will just fetch these to-dos from this API and we will display the data here. We have just displayed these 5 records. So after that, we can add a new record. For example, I would like to just add a new record like meeting. With friends, and which the status is it to do. It means to do in the future, in progress. It is in progress right now or completed this task. For example, to do, add task. So let's check it. So meeting with friends, status to do. So now if you would like to edit this to do, so let's press the edit button. So here, look at, we will directly display that here, meeting and with friends on 12 o'clock, for example, and also that is in progress. I will change this status to in progress. Save that. So look at meeting with friends on 12, status is in progress. If you would like to delete it, so just press the delete, so it will delete it. So we will use the whole process. Okay, the all state we will manage through using state management tool Redux toolkit. Okay, so let's start. Okay, to create this project and also learn all about the Redux toolkit. So let's start. First of all, open your project inside VS Code editor, or what editor you use. I am using VS Code editor. So after opening your project, just install these things. Okay, we need to install, first of all, npm install @redux js/toolkit and React Redux and also UUID. So just install these 3 libraries in your frontend app: Redux Toolkit, React Redux, and UUID, which is used to generate a unique ID whenever we are just creating new task in our project. And after that, install Tailwind CSS and configure that. Okay, for the Tailwind CSS, okay, we will use Tailwind CSS for just the design. So for that, just use Tailwind CSS with wet.js. Just open that, and here you can see the process, just simple process. Install that, run this command, and just add the content to the index.cs and add these 3 lines to the index.cs. That is set. Okay, so after doing these things, now let's start our project. So for this project, let's first of all create a folder. I will just first of all configure the Redux toolkit. It means that I will fetch first of all the data, then I will display that on the screen. So let's create a folder inside this, and that is features. Inside features, we will create a folder task slice. .jsx. What is slice? A slice is nothing, just a slice of our store. It means our whole state. In our whole state, this task slice is a slice of that. For example, in our state, we would like to manage users, products, and tasks. So the task is just a slice of our whole state. It means this file is just related to tasks. It will just implement the logic of tasks related to the task, adding task, deleting task, editing task, and removing the tasks. So okay, a slice is just a slice of our whole state. Now in slice, so to create slice, we will use create slice method of Redux toolkit. So let's first of all import that. Create slice from Redux toolkit, and to fetch the data from API or from database, for that we are using create async thank method. This method, create async thank, this is used for fetching the data. Whenever you would like to fetch the data, from outside like API, so you should use this method. For asynchronous, this is used for just asynchronous operation. Down from that, we will define our initial state. What is initial state for our this tasks? Initial state is equal to, so in the initial state I will define first of all tasks. We have tasks in this slice. We have loading, which is false by default, is the state in loading are fulfilled, and we have error by default null. We don't have any error, and status. So the status by default, the status I will just assign like I think completed value or all. Sorry, okay, I will just assign all value. Later we will just show you the status. Okay, for the status we can use these values whenever we are filtering our data. So I didn't show you to filter the data. Look at to do's, we can filter that. In progress, just in progress, and also completed, we can just display the completed tasks. So whenever we are filtering our data, if the status was also, it will display all the tasks. If that was to do, it will display just the to do's. After that, let's make it const. So now we will just create a function to fetch data from API. So let's create that const fetch to do is equal to. So we will use create async thank function, and inside async thank, first of all we will just write a prefix. This is a prefix that we will use. I will just simply write task slash fetch to do. Okay, this fetch to do is used, this prefix is used then to define the status. For example, the data whenever we are later just working with this create async thank status, like the data fetched, we are using this fetch to do. The data fetched or the data is loading in pending state, or the data rejected, it means there was an error. So later I will explain it. This is very important to define this. This is a unique string, a prefix in this create async thank. After that, we will just call back, we will create a callback method. Okay, so let's create that. This is async method, and we will fetch our data here. So const response is equal to, we will use fetch API. So let's write first of all a wait keyword before fetch API, and we will write here our URL. So let's copy our URL from the browser. This is our URL, and we will just one thing else, that is limit. So we will limit just equal to 5. We will just fetch 5 records, 5 to do's, just underscore limit equal to 5. So after that we will convert const data is equal to response.json. We will convert that to JSON format. It's right here, a wait keyword. So after that we will return all these status. Okay, it means all these to do's. So to return the to do's, so one thing else that we would like to add to our new state, that is we will define these fields. We have here user ID, title, and completed, but I would like to make this ID, title, description, and status. I would like to change it like that. So for that, what I need to do, simply I will write return data dot map. I will use map function for that, and here task, and inside this I will return a new object. That object will contain first of all ID is equal to task.id. I will assign the task ID, then title, the title is task.title, and after the description is not existed in task, so I will simply assign an empty string, and status. So for the status, task dot completed to do. So for the status, I will just define if the status in this data, look at in this data we have status completed field, completed false or true. So if the completed field was true, so we will assign completed to this status. If that was not completed, so then we will assign to do. That is the new object that we have returned. So this was our fetch to do function. Now down from that, let's create slice. Okay, so to create the slice, for that let's write const task slice, this is task slice is equal to, we will call create async, sorry, create slice method. And inside create slice method, we will define first of all the name. So let's write name is a unique name, tasks, initial state, or we can simply write like this. And after that reducers. Here inside this reducers, we will define all the reducers. Reducers are nothing. Reducers are pure functions which has current state and in action. Okay, in the response, it will just operate on that state and it will return a new state. It means, for example, we would like to add a task. We will just define here add task function, and that function will just operate and add a new task. Then delete task, so that reducer will just delete as task, okay, to do from our state. So these are just pure functions which has a state and action, and in the response it return a new state to us. Right now I will not define those reducers. Okay, so we will move to the states. Okay, the reducers which are outside of our slice, which are not in our slice. It means those reducers like fetching the data. Okay, how to handle those actions, okay, like which are from outside of our slice, like this is not in our slice, okay, like fetching the data. Okay, so for that we will use extra reducer. And here we will just create a function, and to that we will pass builder notation. This builder notation will just help us to just handle these states. We have with this create async tank, we have just 3 states like pending, fulfilled and rejected. Whenever it is fetching the data, is the data successfully fetched, it means fulfilled. And the second one is pending, is the data is pending state, is that is rejected, it means there is an error. So first of all, we will add a case, builder dot add case. Inside this add case, now we will just define the fetch state. Okay, I will just show fetch to do. Okay, this is the prefix that I showed you. This prefix is very essential, important. Okay, this prefix plus add to fetch to do dot pending. If that was in pending status, then what we need to do, we will return the current state. We will just get the current state, okay, because that is in pending state. We didn't receive the action right now. There is no action right now. So what we need to do, state.loading is equal to true. The state is true with that, the loading is true, it means it is in loading state. And state.error is equal to null. There is no error right now with us. Now let's define another case, builder.add case. And this is fetch to do dot if that fulfilled, it means if the data fetched successfully. So then we will return state, it will has our state in action. The action is which contain the data, okay, the data that we returned. Just come here down. So here we will just write state.loading is equal to false, because it is not in loading state. And state.tasks, we will just now assign the data that we returned in action to these tasks. So we will simply write like action dot payload. That's it. Now let's move to the third case. If there was an error, builder dot add case which to do dot rejected. So again we will return state in action the error. So here we will just write state.loading is equal to false, and state.error is equal to with action.error.message. That's it. So this was about the extra reducer that we can handle those actions which are outside of our slice, and those which are inside in our slice, so we can just define them inside this reducer, and we can just define like add task, edit task and delete task inside this reducer. That is all about the task reducers. So it was all about that we have pitched the data. Now let's create and use it. Okay, so first of all we will export these things. So to export these things, just come here down export default, we will just task slice dot reducer. We will just export, okay, task slice dot reducer. We will just export the reducer. Now let's move and create our store.jsx. The store is a central place for our state, for all our state. This is a central place. So to create a store, for that we will use configure store method. Import configure store method from Redux Toolkit. This method will just give us the simplicity. It is just made the code of store simple, and also it saved the, we don't need a lot of boilerplate code now. By using this method, const store, or we can just export it. Export const store is equal to configure store, and inside this we will just write reducer, and we will just write the first, we will assign the first reducer, which is, I will name it tasks, and I will just import here task slice. That's it. So if you have other slices like user slice, product slice, so import them also here inside this reducer, so this store can manage all those slices. So now we will use this, okay, store to just fetch the records. We have just fetch here. So now we will just get them from this store and display them. So to display them, for that, let's create a new folder. Just come here. I would like to create a folder components. Inside this components, I would like to just say task list .jsx or AFC. So here I will just read those tasks and display the tasks. So to get the data from store, from this tasks, and then from this store, from this slice, tasks, loading, and error. So for that, let's define here first of all 3 variables. Const tasks is equal to, so here we will use selector from React Redux. What it do, use selector will just, we can return data from store. So how to return? So here we will just create a callback function, for example state, and here we will define state dot tasks. So what it will do, first of all, from this state it will directly move to this store tasks dot tasks, these tasks. So it will return those tasks. Let's duplicate it, and here we will just return loading. So instead of tasks, I will return loading. That's it. Duplicate it for error. If loading, if the data was loading, so then what we need to display, let's return tasks loading. If error, if there was an error, so what we need to do, we will display the message. That's it. Else we will just return our data. So now let's display our tasks. Tasks, for example, and down from that, now we would like to display our data. So let's use the ul unordered list, and inside that I will use tasks.map, and inside this let's return the data li list, and inside this a div element. So first of all, what we need to display, let's check that. We need to just display the let's make it all, the title, and down from that the status. So let's just display the title, and down from that we would like to display the status. So before status, let's display the description. If the description are available, so then display that. And down from that, now the status. Status. And to the right side of that, we would like to just display two buttons, one for edit and the second one for delete. Save that, and let's now import this tasklet inside app.jsx. But before that, let's now import this store inside main.jsx. Just come here to the main.jsx and import provider from React Redux and also store. Now let's wrap our app component for provider. It means all component inside this can access the store. That's it. Just come here and let's come here to the app.jsx and import now task list here. I hope it will work. So let's run our app. Okay, so just come here, npm run do. The port number is 5173. So just come here, 5173 port number. So tasks, we have just tasks. We have just displayed the tasks, and it means why we can't see the task, the list of tasks. Let's just come here. We have just showed the tasks and tasks.map. Tasks.map. Okay, we will check the error inside the console if there was any error. So there is no error inside the console, and here we can't see the tasks that we pitched. Store is okay. Export const store, configure store, reducer tasks. I have found the problem. The problem is that we should fetch for the first time our data. Okay, just come here to the task slice. So we should call this method, okay, fetch to do. Let's export it. So for the first time, we will just call it inside tasks lists. Just come here. Also, we will just return, write return statement. So to just pitch the tasks, for that we need to use dispatch action. So how? So let's first of all import use dispatch. So after importing that from React Redux, now we will use that. So we can just call that like this: const dispatch is equal to use dispatch. Now simply let's call dispatch, and we will write here pitch to do from which we have imported from task slice. Save that and let's check it now. Let's now refresh it. So again, we can't see the data. Let's we have imported the pitch to do. Oh, we faced with an error that says render fewer hooks to expected. Just come here. Yeah, okay, that is, I think so. Here we should not write this. Okay, rebuilder, just once we should write that. Okay, just write here the dot, okay, like this: builder dot add case, and add case. Save that, and let's check it now. So render fewer hooks than expected. Yeah, I will just check once again the error. Where is the error? So the error has been solved. We should write this use effect before rendering this code. Okay, we should write that before this code. So I just bring the use effect on the top of these, loading an error. And also let's write here dispatch. So whenever we just call dispatch, it means whenever we edit dispatch or call dispatch, so we will call use effect again, okay, to fetch data again. So let's check it now. Okay, just come here. So look at, we have our data. So this is our data that we have fetched now. So now let's add the Tailwind CSS design to just design it and display at the center. I bring it at the center. So I will add a few Tailwind CSS classes. So after designing it, so it looks like this. Let's check now the classes that I have added. So just come here to the task lists. First of all, to the UL space y4, it means vertically add space between these lists 4 a rim, and after that to the li. So I have added the key and also these classes, Tailwind CSS classes. These are just designing classes, and also h3 tag, and also to this one, task status, italic and underline, click space 8. Okay, display them in one row and just design that those buttons. So it looks like this. So now let's create a forum at the top of this, and whenever we press the by that forum, we will be able to add a new task. So let's first of all create a forum. Inside components, I will create add to task, add task .jsx. I will just write first of all the HTML, the JSX code. So I have created this forum, and in this forum we have add new task. Then we have an input field for title, and this is title. Okay. And after that we have text area per message. Then we have a select field and 3 options to do, in progress, and completed. And after that a button, add text. So let's check it now, and we will first of all import it on the top of task slit lists. Save that, and let's check it now. So look at, we have this forum, add a new task, and title, description, and also to do, in progress, and complete. Let's first of all create 3 state variable to store the value of these 3 input fields. So to store values inside that, let's create 3 state variables. First of all, const title, set title, description, so here just come here, and here I will add unchange. First of all, value is equal to with title, and unchange call, create an arrow as an anonymous arrow function, and call set title, and e.target value, whatever you are writing inside this input field. So we will store that inside the title. Copy these 2 lines for text area also, and this is description, and here set title, set description. Same to this. Okay, for the select value is the status, and set status. So that's it. After storing the values, so now whenever we press this add task button, so we will call a function. So to call a function, for that come here to the forum, and here we will call on submit event handle submit. Let's create now this function. That's it. So let's first of all import use dispatch to dispatch in action, okay, from React Redux, and also import version 4 as version 4 from UUID, and we will change it as UUID 4. So this is just used, okay, version 4, okay, from UUID. This means that it will generate a unique ID for us. So now let's create a new task. So first of all, ID is equal to UUID, all that, and after that title is the title and description is the same, sorry, and status as the status, that is okay. So after that we will use now this dispatch. Let's create an instance of dispatch. Dispatch is equal to use dispatch as we did in fetching the data, so it is same to that process. I have explained that dispatch. So now we will call add. So let's now create a reducer, okay. So we didn't create the reducer. Let's move to the slice, and here we will create a reducer to add a new task. So to create add task reducer, let's write add task colon. So we will just create a function and it will get receive the state and action. So inside this now let's add a new state, okay. Whenever we submit a task, so we will push that to our array. So to push that, for that, simply write state dot tasks dot push and action dot payload. That's it, okay. So it will add a new task to our array, to our this tasks array that we have created in initial state. So now let's export this add task reducer. That actions. So here yeah, that's it. So now let's import this add task inside add task, okay, this component. Let's now dispatch this action, and we will just pass new task to that. It will store new task inside that. So let's call sit name. We will call sit title, default sit description, empty sit status. So here to this set status we will assign to do the default value. Let's save it and let's try it now. Just come here and let's now add a new task, meeting with friends to do. Let's add task. So look at, we have added new task, meeting with friends status to do. So this is new task. Now let's perform the edit functionality. Whenever we press this edit button, so we will just edit that, okay. So let's come here to the task list. So let's create a new component. So as we were using edit functionality here, so we will display just a model like this and we can edit that. So for the edit tasks, let's import this edit task inside this task list. So after importing it, now let's use it. Just come here, instead of this edit button, where is the edit button? So yeah, this is the edit button. So instead of this button, let's cut this button, and instead of that button I will just use the edit task component, and I will pass task to that. This complete task, okay, this complete task I will pass to this edit component. Let's distract that inside the edit component task, and here I will display a button, this button. So just come here, h over. That's it. So now whenever I press this, let's first of all check it, okay. Just come here and yeah, we have the edit button, okay. Refresh it. Again the same, we have the edit button. So now whenever I press the edit button, so I will display a forum. So to displaying a forum, for that I will create a state variable const is edit set is edit is editing is equal to use state. By default that is false, and whenever I press this button, so let's call that on click, set is editing, not it means true. So whenever I press this button, so I will change the value of this editing to true, then I will display a forum. So let's here display a forum as edit. If as edit was true, so then I will display this code, otherwise I will display this code. That just come here, I will just show you. Okay, don't worry. Button, that is okay. Yeah, here I should write something. Look at the code. If this is edit was true, so then I will display okay. If that was false, then I will display a button. So let's come here. By default, let's refresh it. We have edit, let's press it. So look at, we have okay now. So now instead of this, I will display a forum. So let's create a forum. The forum is the same to this forum. Okay, we have name field, description, and to do, this list, and a button. Instead of one button, we have two buttons. So I will copy this forum data. Just come here to add task. Same to that, we have three fields. Let's copy these fields also, the dispatch also. We have the same thing, the process is the same thing, the same fields. Let's just use dispatch. That's it, we have these three fields. And now let's just copy the forum. Copy the whole code, edit task. Instead of this okay, now let's display all that code. So instead of this button, I will display two buttons, one for cancel, one for edit. Save. So this is add task, and I will create a second button for cancel. Let's copy this code instead of this. Give that. And we have these fields, that is okay. But here just I will, to this div element, I will add a few more Tailwind CSS classes to display that on the top of that. So I have added just these classes, and also let's make it edit task. Okay, instead of add new task, edit task. Let's check it now, save that. Come here and let's press the edit. So look at, we have this edit task, add task, and I will just design these two buttons. Come here to the two buttons. So yeah, it looks like this now. So let's just add. That's it. Okay, add task and save. Here we can select the to do. So now let's, by default we should display the title and description. So for that, by default to display that, simply just come here. Instead of default empty string, I will just write here task.title, and here task dot description, and here task dot status, because I have passed the whole task. So look at edit, the default title, we don't have description for this, and the to do, and this is completed. So let's cancel it. So whenever I press the cancel, so I will just, let's come here by the cancel. When I press the cancel button, so I will just call on cancel on click. So what I need to do, I will just call this task. Okay, set edit is equal to false. Copy this, paste that here, and set editing is equal to with false. I will just assign false to set editing. That's it. Press the edit. So look at cancel, cancel. So we have all things. Okay, so cancel that and let's check it. Okay, so this is completed. So now if I would like to edit this one, so after editing this text by pressing add to task, I should edit this. So for editing that, I need to first of all implement a reducer for to edit a task. Okay, so just come here to the task slice, and here as I did add to task, so now I will just add one new reducer edit task. So that's it. So first of all, I will just distract all the fields, const id, title, description, and status is equal to action dot payload. So after distracting all these fields, now let's check for the existing task. It means that first of all, we will just find the task that we would like to edit, then we will update the fields. So let's now write state dot tasks is equal to state dot task dot map. So here we will just update now our record. So we will write task dot id was equal to with action dot payload dot id. So then return action dot payload, else return task. So I will just remove this line, I don't need this line. So it will just update our task. So state dot tasks is equal to task dot map task dot id. If the task id was equal to whenever the action payload dot id, the task that we have uploaded, we have passed. So then what we should do, we will just pass instead of that action dot payload, okay, the data that we have passed, that task. And otherwise for other task, return the task. Save that and let's check it now. Let's first of all export it, edit task, and just come here to the edit tasks, and whenever I press this edit button, just come here to the add new task. Okay, or let's make it save. Whenever I press this button, so I will just call on click handle edit. Okay, handle edit. So let's use and dispatch, and I will just pass edit task that has been imported from task slice, and I will pass to this first of all id, task dot id, then title, description, status. Down from that set is editing parts. Save that and let's check it now. Let's press the edit, add 111, and here a number, and press save. So look at, we have edited it successfully. Look at, we have edited this. So this was the edit part. Now let's implement the deletion part. So just come here to the task slate and delete. Whenever we click this, so we will call a function, call on click handle delete. and also I will pass ID to that. I will pass task.id to this function handle delete. Let's create that. So we just need, let's write dispatch. So in the dispatch, I will call the delete reducer. So let's first of all create that. Let's move to the task slice, and here I will create the delete one. So state.task is equal to tasks. State.tasks.filter task.id was not equal to with action.payload. So don't return the task which has the same ID as we have passed. So let's move now back to our task list, lists, and so here let's first of all export that delete task. Just come here. That's it. So let's now, for example, I would like to press let's refresh it, delete this one. Okay, so press the delete. So that has been deleted. Look at, so we have deleted. We have just two to-dos now. So it was all about the task management app that we have implemented. So just the filter functionality remained as we did here. Okay, look at the filter. So the filter functionality is the same. That is your homework, but I will guide you how you can do that. So first of all, you will create here a drop down list like this, which are all to do and completed. After creating that, whenever you change, just for example, you press this one. So after pressing that, what you need to do, just come here to our code, task slice, update this value. Okay, this status, okay, which is all. Update this value, and for updating that, create here a state filter function. Just update that value. As we have updated other values, just update that one. Okay, send the value of this which you have clicked. For example, you click to do, assign to do to this status. After assigning to do to that, now come here back to the tasks list, and here create a filter function, and through that filter function filter your data. Instead of this task, then display that filter data. That is simple task, and I hope you will be able to do that. If not, then I will just post the code and post the GitHub repository. So it was all about this state management Redux toolkit. So if you like this video, so don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.